We continue the conversation around supporting local entrepreneurs. In studio, joined by Mpho Kgomo, who's owner of Bafokeng Kitchen, Innocentia Mandira, who is director of Innocentia Baking and Supply, as well as Khauhelo Lefoka, who's founder of Mogurt Dairy. Joining us in studio, a very good evening to you. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming in to speak to us. I mean, I don't know how much you caught of MEC Lebohang Maile speaking about entrepreneurship, saying that according to him, there aren't many manufacturers in the township. And I mean, he's even said to me that I should bring the evidence so that he's able to access you guys. I mean, Innocentia, let's perhaps start off with you. What are your thoughts? What are your views as you listen to the MEC talk about a lack of manufacturers in the township?
I actually didn't hear him much, but I can say he lacks information. Reason being, we are here. We manufacture, we produce. The thing is, we lack resources.
Yeah,
it's the big issue.
I know you're in the baking space. Perhaps tell us a little bit about your business and some of the challenges you're facing.
Okay, I'm currently in baking. I produce baked goods, including scones, muffins, and biscuits, and etc. In the meantime, I introduced producing peanut butter. But my big challenge is resources. Reason being, I'm currently running my business in a small apartment where I just use mini stove to bake those baked goods, go to streets and supply the product to the people who pass through the streets. And then I really do like the resources, because I mean, like, if ever I don't like the resources, I wouldn't be going down the streets. I will be having a bakery, simple, where people can come, buy, and some dine in. But then I'm failing to do that.
Yeah. Mpho, what's your perspective?
I mean, I'd like to know where he did his research of saying that there aren't many manufacturers. There's so many, what can I put this? Business accelerator groups that I've started attending, and I've come to learn how many young black people are actually manufacturing things. There are people who are doing makeup, there are people who are doing their own juices. We've got someone who's doing their own juices. But when we try and get the resources, it's hard. Also getting licensing needed for all these things that we're doing. There's always a blockage, and we don't even know where in the government we need to go to for them to assist us in order for us to be able to grow these businesses so that they're not only businesses that we have, but they can also stay for our kids. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I don't really think they're trying that much. And if you're telling me that I need to reach you in your DMs, there's no other way that we can communicate to you. We need to DM you. It's not working.
And your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the reality is what government sees on top versus what's happening on the bottom are two totally different messages that are coming across. I tend to disagree with him in terms of saying there are not so many manufacturers. Like my sister here has announced or just mentioned that, you know, we always interact with different businesses within different forums, different workshops, and we are all crying over the one thing, and it's the one thing is compliance. Now, what do we mean about compliance in that sense as well is, first of all, land to manufacture. So if I'm in the township, you'll find that we're manufacturing within our back rooms, our backyards, and then the municipality will tell us we do not comply, we are not allowed to manufacture in this space. Now, when we come and approach government or municipality to say, at least allocate us space for us to be able to manufacture all these products, all these magnificent products, to help us accelerate and get our products out there. But there seems to be a stumbling block. And one thing I've noticed is also the government is very reactive and not necessarily proactive. This whole spaza shop thing that's happening has been announced, and we've been raising red flags all along, but it just has to be, you know, at the cost of, you know, a black child dying for them to come back and say, okay, let's do something eventually. But I appreciate the fact that they are taking the steps. You know, it's not just about pointing fingers. There are some manufacturers that are within the space that, honestly speaking, are not ready to get their products out there.
Yes.
They still need to go through the fundamentals and get all the lessons that they need to learn to get the products, because you'll find that people will just fold their arms and wait for funding and not necessarily doing the little that they can do with the little
Which is
they have.
important. I mean,
Correct.
in Essentia, as he speaks about that, what the MEC was saying is that a lot of people, they're not prepared to give funding to people who are not ready. People, I mean, you, all three of you are entrepreneurs who've been doing what you've been doing for several years, and you have interacted with customers, you've tested the market, you've received reaction from your customers, and there seems to be consistency. They're ordering from you, they're visiting your shop, Mpho, and they are coming back to show that you're doing something right. And what is that? How does that resonate with you as you hear Maile saying that you know, it's all very well, we can't just throw money at people who aren't ready, but there are people who are ready.
Come again?
What is it? How does it resonate with you, as the MEC says, we're not prepared to give money to people who are not ready, people who are still need to test their products. The three of you sitting here have proven that you are ready. You capacity. Well, all you need is capacity, and that boost. You were talking about wanting to get perhaps a bigger oven to bake and ensure that you have access to local markets, the nearest local market in terms of the big retailer in your area.
I will say, at least they do these things of market days, and then when they came, they buy, so that they be sure, okay, yes, these people mean the business, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Because if they sit there at the homes, the offices, blah, 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 but not coming to where we work, not inviting us to supply them with the products, how will they know that we are ready? How will they know? You see? And then this thing of us applying, keep on rejecting without valid reason is not okay.
And that's important. You need a reason so that you can improve. If your application has been rejected, how wonderful would it be for someone to say, this is what we want you to fix, so that you can try again and be able to contribute to this economy and get a chunk of it. What are your views around that, Mpho?
I just think that, that's why I'm still saying that I need to figure out where they're really doing their surveys from or their research, where they're getting it from. The thing is, in order to know if something is working or in order to know if someone is ready, you need to test them out and see what is going to happen. So what are you doing to give those people a chance to see if their businesses, why aren't you doing research to see? We've got social media pages. Why aren't you checking how far I've been running this thing? Why aren't you looking into me to see, okay, there is a chance? So you're not even doing that.
Yeah.
And if I apply and there's something wrong, why don't you say, no, there's a problem here, you don't have the certificate, or you're not complying with this, there's this problem, there's this. So I fix that, and then I reapply again and see how far we can go with that.
Tell us a little bit about your business. You're in the food sector. What would you say are some of the pressing needs and challenges that you're facing?
Getting a restaurant certificate. Nothing is as hard as that, I promise you. And I'm not gonna lie, the way now it's made so easy for this thing that happened is this plaza shop issue, this and this happened, but now they've come up with a way to sort it out to make it easy for them to be able to register and so forth. Why aren't you looking at that with other businesses as well? Why aren't you trying to help us to push as well? Okay, if you're not going to give us the resources, give us the means whereby you are giving us the certificate that we need. Let us comply, and then we'll see how we get the resources ourselves. But let there be a way where there's some way where you're helping us. And I feel like you're not meeting us halfway. You say you are, but you're really not doing it.
As a product supplier, I'm sure you'd love to see your products on the shelves with who you deem a competitor. What challenges are you facing? And also tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so my company is Mogurt, and we manufacture dairy products. Currently manufacturing the Mogurt Dairy blend juice, which is your alternative to your fizzy drinks, as we have less sugar and less preservatives. Currently being distributed in the informal sector in the form of these plaza shops, with the aim of going into the major retailers. It all boils down to one thing in terms of the red tapes, is the compliance. So compliance finance is two ways. There's a structural side of things that you need to do when we're talking about space. You need your space. Your space needs to be on a certain way, must be built in a certain way for you to comply, and those things don't come cheap. Then there's also a second phase of it, which is the admin side of it, which now you need to bring consultants to come and test you and make sure that your books are in order. So those are the main challenges, and all of these things boils down to one thing, which is cost. And cost, which means funding. And if funding is not adequate, there's no way that we can win this battle. Government needs to be intentional about this thing, needs to be aggressive. We're not saying they're not doing anything, but we're just saying it's not enough. We need it to be more aggressive and more intentional. Stop doing this whole blanket approach. Come to each and every single business, tailor-make it, give us a tailor-made solution so that we can be able to thrive, because the little grants that we're getting, they're not sufficient to propel us to be able to manufacture at optimum levels. All we're getting is just PR stunts. When she's talking about these market events, literally the MEC they will just place us like exhibitors. They'll come there with their entourage and then take pictures, and then that's it, and they're gone, right? So there's not actually a proper return of investment or within that whole space. So all I'm just asking is, can we have a more intentional approach to things as opposed to just PR stunts?
Yeah, and you operate from Soweto, right?
Katlehong.
From Katlehong.
Yes.
Which area are you from? And you, Mpho?
Phosphorus.
And these are townships.
Yes.
Correct.
So the MEC can't say that you don't exist.
Yeah.
In terms of access and wanting to have your products on the shelf, what do you think needs to happen in that space for you to be able to say, hey, my product is good enough and I can make it onto a local shelf? And also the conversation around Paza shops. Do you see that as an opportunity at all to place your products and access the local market?
Let me answer your last question.
Yeah.
Yes. And secondly, yes, my products are very ready. The thing is...
And very quickly, sorry,
Yes.
I'm going to go through,
Yes.
do you, Spaza Shop, talk to me about what you guys think very quickly.
Yes, so I think when we're talking about intentional, so there must be enforcement that's saying to retailers that at least have 30% of local manufactured products within the stores. Stop giving people options to say, no, we don't want this one. Obviously, if someone is ready to be there and if someone is not ready to be there, then you can cut them off. But at least give them that law that says 30% of your stores must have 30% of the product within your stores should be local manufactured products.
Very well. Thank you so much
Thank
for coming
you.
in studio and speaking to us. There you have it. The MEC says these people don't exist. There aren't many of them. Here they are in studio. You also saw some of them yesterday. But let me thank my guest, Mpho Kgomo, owner of Bafokeng Kitchen, Innocentia, director of Innocentia Baking and Supply, as well as Khauhelo Lefoka, founder of Mogurt Dairy.